I get DMs like this on the daily. The daily. Do you know why this whole black people monkey thing is a thing? If you don't, stay. Even if you do, still stay. Because I'm about to explain to you why. Let us travel back in time to the 17th century. Long story short, there was this dude named Isaac Lapeyre, French dude, obviously, and he popularized this theory of polygenism. In short, it's this theory of human origin that every race has a different speciation / point of origin, as monogenism is a theory that suggests that we all come from one common ancestor. So Isaac did his racist little thing, and the theory of polygenism reached the height of popularity in mid-19th century-ish. It was particularly popular in France and the United States. Quick side note, originally, polygenists believed that races were products of separate divine creation. But then Darwin came in and did his little thing. You know, Charles Darwin, natural selection, adaptation, speciation, birds, you get the vibes. So polygenous like Isaac, that's Isaac by the way, he kind of ugly, racist, crusty, musty, dusty looking ass. They kind of revamped their theory from an evolutionary perspective and said that each race has a separate and completely different evolutionary history. So then, and here's how it enters into the scientific realm, during the 18th century European Enlightenment era, scientific polygynists used cranial measurements to justify their bigotry. And they use those measurements to display and prove racial inequalities and white superiority. Now we can start talking about Sammy Moore, because this mother trucker, American physician and founder of the field of craniometry, wrote this book called Crania Americana, something you can still find and read, by the way. His research obviously focused on skulls, and in one study he focused on the projection of the chin among white people, black people, and chimps. And through this research, he concluded that black people are more closely related to primates, monkeys, chimps, apes, because the protrusion of the jaw was closest to that of primates. Here's the thing though, those measurements back in those days were done in the form of drawings. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, he fudged the results. He skewed the numbers. He made it so that his hypothesis and his racial biases were supported by his research. On top of all that, Sir Morty Moore believed that cranial capacity determined intellectual ability. So he used his craniometric evidence to argue in favor of a racial hierarchy, putting white people at the top and black people at the bottom. And so the notion that black people are like monkeys was born. You know what's extra funny? A lot of y'all truly believe deep down in your hearts that the things that happened in 17th, 18th century Europe have zero effect on today. The things that 18th century American physicians believed and published has zero effect on today. That's ridiculous. Y'all ever heard of scientific racism, medical racism? Where do you think it came from? These things have very real implications today. Huge shout out to the In Those Jeans podcast. Love this podcast. Watch this for more info.